seen script. Ever pondered what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary? What if it's just a choice? Meet David Goggins, a man of immense strength and resilience. He's a retired Navy SEAL, an ultra-marathon runner, and a world record holder for the most pull-ups done in 24 hours. But before he was any of these things, he was just a boy born into poverty, prejudice, and physical abuse. His early life was a battleground, each day a struggle for survival. He was a victim of his circumstances, trapped in an endless cycle of hardship and despair. But amidst the turmoil, he discovered something within him, something stronger than the adversity he faced. He discovered the power of choice. As a teenager, David weighed nearly 300 pounds. His health was declining, and his dreams of joining the military seemed far beyond his reach. But he made a decision, a choice that would forever alter the course of his life. He chose to fight, to rise above his circumstances, to transform his pain into power. He began to train, pushing his body to its limits, testing his mental toughness, and challenging his spirit. He chose to embrace the discomfort, to confront his fears, and to overcome his limitations. He chose to turn his life around. It wasn't easy. There were setbacks, moments of doubt and despair, but with each challenge, he chose to persevere, to keep going, to never give up. He chose to become a man defined not by his past, but by his actions, by his choices. David Goggins transformed his life through the power of choice. He went from a life of hardship and despair to becoming one of the world's most admired endurance athletes and motivational speakers. His story is a testament to the power of choice, a testament to the extraordinary potential within each of us, waiting to be unleashed. Now, imagine a man who decided to change his life, not by luck or chance, but by making a choice. That man is David Goggins. Ever thought of pain as your friend? Goggins did. David Goggins, one of the toughest men alive, didn't just stumble upon this title. He earned it by turning his pain into power. He's not just a man, he's a living testament to the transformative power of discomfort. Goggins didn't start as a titan. His journey began when he was overweight and stuck in a job he despised. But one day, he made a choice. He chose to face the pain head-on and channel it into becoming a Navy SEAL, one of the world's elite warriors. Imagine the grueling pain of pushing your body beyond its limits, of battling the elements, of enduring bone-chilling cold and scorching heat. This was Goggins' reality, but he didn't shy away from it. He embraced it. He welcomed the pain, the discomfort, the fatigue. He saw them not as obstacles but as opportunities to grow, to become stronger, to become better. Goggins' journey was fraught with injuries, broken bones, stress fractures, and even a congenital heart defect. Most people would see these as reasons to give up, to back down, but not Goggins. He saw them as challenges to overcome. He believed that pain was just a part of the process, a stepping stone on his path to greatness. Why? Because Goggins understands something that most of us don't. He understands the philosophy of embracing the suck. It's not about masochism or self-destruction. It's about understanding that pain, discomfort, and adversity are the crucibles in which character is forged. Goggins believed in the power of pain. He believed that pain was a teacher, a guide, a friend. He believed that embracing pain was the key to unlocking his full potential. He didn't just survive his struggles, he thrived in them. He transformed his pain into power, his adversity into strength. So here's the question we need to ask ourselves. If Goggins could do it, if he could turn his pain into power, then why can't we? Goggins believed that pain was a stepping stone to unlocking his full potential. What about you? Ever felt like giving up? Goggins says you're only 40% done. This is the central tenet of David Goggins' famed 40% rule, a principle that he's successfully applied in his life time and time again to conquer some of the most challenging physical and mental feats imaginable. You might be wondering, what exactly is this 40% rule? Well, according to Goggins, when your mind is screaming at you to stop, when every muscle in your body is begging for mercy, you're only 40% done. Yes, you heard it right. That's the 40% rule. It's a concept that Goggins used to push through his grueling military training, the punishing world of ultra-marathons, and even the mental warfare he often found himself in. He recognized that our minds are wired to seek comfort, to preserve energy, to avoid risk. But this, he believed, is a barrier we must overcome if we are to unlock our true potential. Think about it. How often have we given up on a task, thinking we've reached our limit, only to realize later that we could have pushed a little further. That's where the 40% rule comes into play. It's a mental tool, a mantra if you will, that pushes us to break through the self-imposed limits we often set for ourselves. Goggins didn't just theorize this rule, he lived it. He used it to endure the unimaginable, to accomplish the unthinkable. He transformed himself from an overweight man to a Navy SEAL, from a man with a fear of water to a world-class endurance athlete. He did it by pushing past his perceived limits, by reminding himself that when he thought he was done, he was only 40% there. So next time you feel like throwing in the towel, remember the 40% rule. Remember that the boundary between possible and impossible is often just a construct of the mind. Goggins pushed past his limits, and he believes you can too. Remember, when you think you're done, you're only 40% there. Ever looked in the mirror and really seen yourself? Goggins did every day. David Goggins, a man of extraordinary mettle and resilience, introduced us to an unconventional concept, the accountability mirror. This was not an ordinary mirror. It was a mirror that reflected not just his physical appearance, but his fears, failures, and self-doubts. It was a mirror where he saw himself raw and unfiltered. Every morning, Goggins would stand before this mirror, confront his reflections, and have an honest conversation with himself. He would look into his own eyes and ask, "Did I do everything I could today to get one step closer to my goals?" If the answer was no, he would not shy away from the uncomfortable truth. Instead, he would acknowledge his shortcomings and make a promise to do better. This mirror became his daily reality check, a place where he could not hide from his own judgments. It was where he held himself accountable for his actions and his progress, or lack thereof. He would write his goals on post-it notes and stick them on the mirror. Every day he would see these notes and be reminded of what he was striving for. The accountability mirror was not a place for self-deprecation. It was a place for self-improvement. It was where he turned his fears into motivations, failures into lessons, and self-doubts into self-belief. It was here that he learned to take responsibility for his actions and his life. Goggins believed that we are the architects of our own destiny. He understood that success is not a matter of luck or talent, but a product of hard work, perseverance, and accountability. He used his accountability mirror as a tool to keep himself on track, to remind himself of his goals and to push himself beyond his perceived limits. He once said, "The accountability mirror is a tool that doesn't lie. It doesn't care about your excuses. All it shows is the truth." And it was this brutal honesty that kept him grounded and focused on his path. Goggins held himself accountable every day. What will you see when you look in the mirror? Scene script. Ever aimed to be the best amongst the best? Goggins did. David Goggins, a man who went from weighing almost 300 pounds to becoming one of the world's top endurance athletes, had a unique aspiration. He didn't just want to be uncommon. He aimed to be uncommon amongst the uncommon. How did he do this, you might wonder? Goggins had a vision so powerful that it transformed his reality. He dreamt of being the best, and he did everything in his power to make this dream come true. He pushed his body beyond its limits, he tested his mental strength, and he never ever gave up. Goggins took on some of the world's toughest endurance challenges. He completed over 60 ultra-marathons, triathlons, and ultra-triathlons, setting new course records and regularly placing in the top 5. He also once held the Guinness World Record for pull-ups, completing 4,030 in 17 hours. This wasn't just about physical strength. It was about mental endurance. It was about grit, determination, and the will to overcome. But Goggins' journey was not just about setting records. It was about constant self-improvement. He believed in the power of the mind to shape the body. He believed that if he could control his thoughts, he could control his actions. And if he could control his actions, he could shape his destiny. Goggins also believed in the power of suffering. He once said, "Suffering is the true test of life." He embraced the pain, the struggle, the hardship, because he knew that it was through suffering that one grows, that one becomes stronger, that one becomes uncommon amongst the uncommon. Goggins chose to be extraordinary. He chose to embrace pain, to push past his limits, to hold himself accountable, and to be the best. Now, what choice will you make?